The 2023 Volvo XC60 is the bread and butter SUV for Volvo, since it's in the very popular compact luxury segment. Thankfully, it's a good, solidly competitive offering. It's practically impossible to find the exterior style and offensive, plus, who doesn't love an elegant Swedish-style interior? You can even get wool upholstery. Same goes for Mercedes. The GLC crossover is a winner. The previous generation sold well for most of its life thanks to its entirely predictable combination of the typical Benz virtues of handsome design and peppy performance. The styling of the all-new version has evolved so gently that we suspect many will struggle to spot the generational update. And with both being some of the best-selling models in their segment, you might want to know which one is better. In this video, we'll compare both cars' designs inside and out, pricing, and how they drive. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. The 2023 Volvo XC60 is a mild but appetizing rework of the Swedish automaker's best-selling model. The update is designed to keep pace with a long lineup of luxury rivals. The exterior design doesn't see much of a big change, with the classic Volvo big front grille, flanked by wide headlights featuring the Thor hammer motif. The XC60's muscular and athletic side profile is sleek and dynamic, with two massive creases at the bottom of the doors enhancing its muscular proportions. The side windows are framed with shiny chrome accents, which complement the car's overall design. Around the back, LED taillights extend vertically along the rear pillars, which is a signature design element seen across Volvo's lineup. The tailgate is handsomely sculpted and integrates a spoiler. Dual exhaust outlets are integrated into the rear bumper, adding a touch of sportiness to the design. The styling of the all-new GLC has changed so subtly that many will struggle to spot the new updates. Reshaped headlights frame a single horizontal metal strip on the radiator grille, where the outgoing version had two, and the overall softer lines stand in contrast to the sharp ones of the XC60. Dimensions have expanded slightly. The new GLC is now 185.7 inches long, making it 0.7 inches longer than the Volvo, but the side profile is less sporty, with an overall softer and smoother shape. At the back is where things get a bit less interesting, since it lacks some of the sophistication and details that might draw you in. The taillights are slimmer but again aren't as imposing as the XC60's taillights, and the fake exhausts round out what is an underwhelming rear fascia. Overall, the GLC always looked decent, but with this facelift, it somehow regressed in the looks department. The XC60's design, on the other hand, is impossible to find offensive, and I prefer it to the GLC's. Jumping inside, Volvo's attractive and refined shape is mirrored in its stylish, welcoming interiors. With premium materials and beautiful design from top to bottom, it's difficult to find anything negative to say about the XC60's interior. Open-pore wood and rear metal are both available dependent on trim, and you can even get an Oriforce crystal gear selector. Leather seats are available if you want traditional luxury, but you can select a beautiful wool textile upholstery for a little something different and more animal-friendly. Overall, it's a clean layout, if slightly basic in the face of the latest high-tech looks from Mercedes or the classy Genesis GV70. And the rest of the interior sticks to what made the XC60 stay on top of its game. The big news is what's situated in the middle of the dashboard, namely a new 9-inch Google Android infotainment system. Volvo has been retiring its Sensus system for Google software across its entire range. The infotainment system integrates nicely with the instrument cluster, since you can choose to display Google Maps interface in the cluster, and the digital readouts for vital info are easy to digest alongside it. Luxurious is the best way to describe it. The cabin of the GLC is nearly as lovely as the S-Class at first glance. It carries the same display arrangement in the same places, and broadly matches the C-Class's materials above the beltline. On higher trim levels, the dash is covered with soft black leather and pinstriped wood that would be the envy of any other car in the segment, while cheaper, harder plastics appeared lower and out of the eye line. It's a pleasant space to be in. The wraparound dashboard makes it more intimate than the Volvo without feeling tight. The new GLC moves to Mercedes' new MBUX infotainment system. It uses twin digital displays, an 11.9-inch portrait-style central touchscreen angled slightly towards the driver, and a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. MBUX supports high-level voice inputs plus the option of an augmented reality navigation. One downside, however, is that the GLC is following the S-Class and C-Class in ditching both physical HVAC controls for touch-sensitive panels, and that it also lacks a physical volume knob. As for passenger and cargo space, the driver can enjoy a comfortable multi-adjustable seat in Volvo's wool textile. The interior dimensions remain unchanged, so the XC60 still offers competitive interior space. There is plenty of headroom both front and back, and people at the back will enjoy a comfortable ride with 38 inches of rear legroom. The XC60 is one of the most spacious compacts out there, swallowing 29.7 cubic feet with all the seats up. Fold the 40-20-40 second row and that number more than doubles to 63.3 cubes. The load floor is healthfully low too. As for Mercedes, you will find the GLC's interior quite roomy. Most of the controls are within reach thanks to a wide range of adjustability in the driver's seat. Getting in and out is easy as well, and both the driver and front passenger enjoy ample head and legroom. Rear passengers will be comfortable as well, since there is plenty of space even behind tall drivers. The rear doors don't open as wide as the fronts, however, so access isn't quite as open. Utility is definitely not the GLC's strong suit. It can only hold 21.9 cubic feet of cargo, which is 7.8 cubes behind the Volvo. When it comes to pricing, the XC60 Core is on the lower end of the segment, kicking off at $45,800 in front-wheel drive form, including destination. All-wheel drive adds $2,300. The X60 Plus is $50,000, and the fully loaded Ultimate trim will go for $61,400. Mercedes has released pricing information for the new GLC. At launch, the range will consist of a single model called GLC 300. With 3 trims to choose from, the GLC 300 starts at $48,250 including destination. Next is GLC 300 Exclusive at $50,500 and Pinnacle at $52,600. If you want all-wheel drive, add $2,000 to any trim. When it comes to driving and handling, Volvo offers 3 different powertrains: B5, B6, and T8 and the XC60, all mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Under the hood of the B5 badged XC60s are a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and a 48-volt mild hybrid system, making 247 horsepower. The B6 is powered by the same turbocharged 2-liter 4 as the B5, but a supercharger is added for more power. With 295 horsepower and it's stable, it feels a bit peppier than the models with the base B5. The plug-in hybrid T8 powertrain borrows the B6's engine and pairs it with a set of electric motors for a total of 455 horsepower in the Recharge models. On the road, the XC60 isn't quite as composed as Volvo's other 60 and 90 series offerings. Its larger optional wheels can significantly degrade ride quality, especially in areas with degraded pavement, and its base suspension gets fidgety on uneven roads. The takeaway from this should be other Volvos are better to drive, stick to smaller wheels, and most competitors handle better. This may sound damning, but it's really not. Spick it right and the XC60 will be a lovely car to drive in 95% of the scenarios most drivers find themselves in. As for Mercedes, regardless of trim level, power for the 2023 GLC comes from a turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine that works with a 48-volt mild hybrid system to develop 258 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission. With minimal turbo lag and the healthy torque available at 1800 revs, the GLC 300 gets off the line and past slower-moving traffic with ease. The 9-speed automatic transmission is a different story, however. Although it swaps gears unobtrusively, the gearbox is slow to downshift in the crossover's default comfort setting. Toggling to the more aggressive Sport and Sport Plus drive modes improves the response, but both settings make it prone to holding gears longer than necessary for typical daily driving. At least there are a pair of steering wheel-mounted shift paddles that afford manual control. While Mercedes' 4MATIC all-wheel drive system is available as a $2,000 extra, the standard GLC 300 sends all of its power to the rear wheels, making it particularly lively on twisting tarmac. Thanks to its light but not direct steering, rigid underpinnings, and stiff springs, the 3,900-pound compact crossover is far more entertaining to push around than its mass might suggest. The GLC's nimble nature comes at the cost of ride quality though, and the crossover's multi-link front and rear suspension stiff tuning leaves heads tossing on cargo turning while going over small road imperfections, which is why the GLC's standard 18-inch wheels and all-season tires can make for a less rigid ride. So, which one should you choose? Well, this is a tough one because I prefer the exterior design of the XC60, while the GLC's interior is hands down my favorite in this entire segment. And since you will be inside the car more often than looking at it from the outside, I would choose the GLC over the XC60 any day of the week.